Hi, welcome to AutoMailer. In this tutorial session, I'm going to be showing you how to, number one, correctly format your database or email list so that you can upload it into your AutoMailer account and use it in your campaigns. Right, so the first thing that we're going to do is let's first format our database. So number one, just simply open up the database that you have. In this case, this is the one I have, just a simple test list. As you can see, I have header columns, right? So my header columns here are first name. Let me remove this one. So first name, last name, email, and company, right? So what is mandatory here in order for you to send out to this list is the system should know that this is the email column that it's going to be sending to. So header columns are very important. You want to make sure that your list does have header columns. And what is mandatory is email. If you don't have first name, last name, company, etc., it doesn't matter. But if you do have those header columns, you want to make sure that they are formatted correctly. So first name is first name, last name, email, and company, right? There is no really limit as to how many header columns you can upload into the system, but a good best practice is only upload the data that you're actually going to be using in your campaign. So if your list has like tons and tons of data points like your LinkedIn profile, company website, but those are not actually relevant, you're not going to be using them in your campaigns, simply delete or remove them from your list. You can still upload that file, but for it to be much more cleaner and much more easier for you to understand and track as your campaigns start to send out, you want to only upload the data that you're going to be using in your campaign. In my case, I'm going to be using like the first name as a personalization token. Maybe I'm going to be using the company name as well. So I'm going to be keeping these data points, and each data point has a header column. So first name, last name, email, and company. Right. Now you want to make sure that you save this file as CSV, comma delimited. That's the only file format that the system does accept. Okay, so let me briefly save that. Now let's go back to AutoMailer and upload that list. To do that, simply navigate to the contact section. As you can see, I have tons and tons of different data points, data files that I have already uploaded. But to upload a new one, just click on create a list, right? Select that file, make sure it's in CSV format, name it. So I'm just going to do demo list, create list. Then you'll be routed to the duplicate checker. What this actually is, it's checking other different files you have already uploaded or other email lists that you have uploaded. So for example, the email that I have, right? Let's, for example, this one, davidkalidas@gmail.com is actually already found in a different list that I uploaded. If I do remove duplicates, when I upload this file, it will not include this email since this email is already found in a different list. You want to make sure that the data that you're uploading is unique for that list, right? If you want to keep duplicates, that's fine. It's totally up to you. Or remove duplicates. These are the different options that you are given on this page. So in this case, I'm just going to do keep duplicates. It doesn't matter if my email is found in a different list. You'll be then routed to the mapper or the CSV header mapper. What this basically is if your list has, let's say, for example, two different first names or two different last names, and you want to tell the system which one to use. For example, here, if I had like, maybe first name 2, and I do James, for example, and this is the list I upload, it will show here first name and first name 2. Then you have to simply map which one is actually going to be the primary first name, right? So if your list doesn't have any duplicate or different header columns for specific data points like first name or company name, what you need to do just to make sure that the primary header columns are correctly identified, specifically email, right? Email is actually email. So if your list has like maybe email 1, then email 2, and email 3, you have to tell them which one is the primary email. So In this case, I just have one email column, one first name, one last name. Company name, it will be unassigned. It's totally fine. You could still use these data points when you're creating the campaign, right? So this is just basically telling the system which one is the primary one to be used for the first name, last name, and email, right? So keep other header columns as unassigned. It's totally fine. Click on next. It will be then you'll be routed to this page where it will say uploading. This usually takes a couple of minutes depending on how large your list is, right? So once your list has been uploaded, the status should change to unverified since we have not verified that list, right? So this is the list I uploaded. As you can see, first name, last name, email, status, company, verification status, right? So what you need to do next here is click on the list itself and clean list. So AutoMailer does have a built-in email verification system. What it does is it pings each individual email to make sure it gets a valid server response from that domain that it's being used or whatever hosting provider is being used. It checks also like MX records on the back end just to make sure it is a valid and active email domain. It also checks and cross-references our internal spam traps that we have already identified. So if your list does have spam traps and we have identified them, it will mark those out as bad. And the system knows not to send out to any bad contacts. Now to clean the list, very straightforward. Click on it, click on clean list, click on yes, and that's it. It should take a couple of minutes and then it will say processing. Once it has been completed, it will be then marked as verified, right? So if you take an example, one of the lists I have here, as you can see, any bad statuses that I have unsubscribed, it will be shown in my account. It will be shown in this list as well. As you can see, bad, it knows not to send out to these contacts anymore. Right, that's how to upload and clean and properly format your database. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via chat. We are available Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. Thank you very much.